And the reason behind that is you can throw your trinket down. You guys take turns throwing your trinket down in this bush here if you're pushed up. And by doing that, you can keep continual vision. Like when one of yours goes down, the other one will be up, and then you will have extra lean potential because you'll have enough health to last for a long time. And you usually don't get ganked real early. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah, why do you have AP runes?
You should be running AD reds on Leona.
It should be 80 reds, health yellows, armor, quints, and MR blues. You can switch the quints and the yellows if you want.
The AD reds work out so nicely because you get 3 auto attacks really quick with your Q, so it's like auto Q auto. It does a lot of damage.
I would definitely take the 4 biscuits even in solo queue. I have never in the past season and a half never got a starting ward.
The only time I would actually start ward is if it was like a team thing. Like if it was 5s and it was planned for whatever reason. I can't tell what the 80 carries runes are running, so...
He said it's okay, it's mostly for him. It's not so much
there.
He said it's not so much about the 80 carry, it's more about him. The 80 carry is just helping out. And you always use both of your stacks first thing when you get into lane. It'll help you get level 2 earlier. And it means that they'll be properly timed for the cannon minions later. If you use it now, if you use your relic right now, then you'll end up missing a cannon later. And if you don't use it, you actually lose efficiency because you have like overlap time somewhere else. You're way too far back. You're just leaving him out there. You gotta be like way up front and try to help him give presence in lane. And what you want to do is if you had 4 biscuits, then you could help him auto attack back at level 1 and not worry about losing all your health. And you would get level 2 first. You always, especially on Leona, want to get level 2 first. See how you've had 2 this whole time? It's just wasting because now it started the proc over, and that whole time you could have already been like 30% towards your next proc. And now you're not going to have one for the next cannon.
Sorry.
That's okay. And I don't know if you, no, I didn't notice you doing it, but to help your 80 carry last hit under tower, you don't hit the melees. They auto, oop. That was good. That was good going on Graves when she got hooked. That was good. You don't do anything to the melees because he lets it hit tower twice and then he hits it once, but all of the caster minions, you should hit one of them once. And then the tower hits it, and then he can get it easily.
Jinx also shouldn't be farming with your Q. You're using a lot of mana for that.
And part of the reason that she's having to farm with her Q is you're offering no presence back here. Like, you're not scary at all. So she's afraid to last hit because he's afraid to, like, get engaged on. You should be up here. They should be just as afraid of you. Oh, you're against the Nunu.
Also still sitting on 2 health pods.
So what you want to do, especially against like a Thresh or a Graves who lose a lot of power without mana, you want to be like trading your health for their health or mana, or to get them to get her last hits. So let's say that you zone and you lose a mana pot and she gets 4 CS. That's very gold
That
efficient.
was a nice engage.
It was.
A little late on the traps, but I can't tell if... Is there sound for this or no?
There is, yeah. Do you want me to go back?
Oh, I can't hear it.
I have it muted because they were... Wait a second. How do I turn it back on?
Oh, nice. Were they yeah, I still can't hear it, but did he call out that engage?
Yeah, they did. They kind of did. They said that he said that he was trying to get close enough, and then he went in. So there was enough of an indication to get the traps ready.
It was a little late on the traps, but you all, like, Jinx is also missing a lot of mana right now because you're using too much, or your Q too much to farm. Otherwise, you probably would have blown summoners there.
Real quick, you didn't use the level 1 ward, so again, it's just not efficient. And then you got 2 more. So if you're using your trinkets, which you guys, you shouldn't have this, you should have just your regular trinket. And you guys haven't been warding this bush very effectively, but if you were, these 3 trinkets you would still have probably the next time you went back to get your Sightstone. So you want to be careful with that. And Jinx, you want to go back when he goes back, especially you were really far push. You want to go back so that you're both in lane at the same time, because what's going to happen is he just came back, you're going to shove this, things are going to happen. Either you're going to go back, and then he's going to not be able to be in lane either, and you're going to lose effectiveness, and he's going to lose XP, or you're behind in items because Graves bought and you didn't. It was a nice E. You had some lane pressure.
Wait, could you go back and pause on that tab?
Mhm.
I want to look at the items and stuff.
Okay.
So Graves has a Zeal. Alright, never mind. If Graves had like a pickaxe or something, you definitely shouldn't have thrown your E there. Because he would have just blown you and Jarvan up because Jinx doesn't have any items, but he had a Zeal, so that's fine.
Alright, 2 things real quick. He has 11 and you have 6, so he's making double the income that you are. And that's a big deal. Part of that was your mismanagement early. And then part of it is also that he's upgraded this. So before you get your ruby crystal, I would always upgrade this first because that's your main source of income and it gives you a lot more gold if you're effectively using that. So that's what I would go with for that, and then you could have gotten a ward or 2. I actually go, what I think you should have done is you should have upgraded this and got a pink and got a couple more health pots, and then you put the pink in this river bush here. You put your trinkets, you alternate putting your trinkets in this bush here, and then you're good to go. If you wanted to grab another ward, you could. Sometimes I do, but you should have upgraded this first because now they're both ahead. So they have 52 combined, and I think you have, where to go? Oh, you guys actually have 53, so that's good. But you're missing out on a lot of income that you could have had. No, don't upgrade to Face of the Mountain before Sightstone. Just get the Targons, and then get your Sightstone. And then what you want to do is you want to evaluate how your team is doing before you get your next item.
Also, another thing, level 1, Thresh started his hook, so there was literally 0 reason why you weren't up front using your procs, because if he doesn't start E, he doesn't do any damage.
And it's really easy. Another good thing to do is walk up in lane and actually purposely get autoed by Thresh once, and it'll tell you what ability he started. and it'll tell you how much lane pressure you can put and where you need to position. Because if he didn't start hook, you can position a little differently than you would if he did. And there's no reason for you to be way back here. There's like, you're full health, you're full health. You guys have like similar gold output, unless Jinx didn't go back yet, did she? So that's
No,
why you're
but she's
zoned back
also level
here.
6.
No, she's not. She's 5. Oh, she is 6. Yeah, you're 6,
You
so
guys
you have a
have
lot
more
more
pressure.
pressure.
Even
So
though
that's
you haven't gone back, you have a lot more pressure because you're 6.
so that's something to consider too. And if you're ever zoned back here because you didn't go by, that just illustrates why you need to buy at the same time so that they don't have an item advantage. But there's no reason for you to be back here and not pressuring them. They're much lower than you are. And he has almost no mana. He can get like a full round off, but then if you get him to use any of that, like a flay, if you bait it out of him, he's going to be severely like gimped later on in the next fight. Your fight is stronger than it will be when you hit. I think Graves hits 6 before you do, because he pushed you out of lane this way and farmed and then went back. So if you are going to fight, you needed to do it soon while he's low and before he hits 6. Once he hits 6, you guys have to back off and you can't fight. Again, you're using your Q to farm. And the other problem with using Q to farm is that it's kind of like Tristana. You'll actually lose some farm because of the splash damage. So some of the ones that you should have been able to get, you won't because of that.
Leona should have engaged on Grazer when he was really far
Yeah.
away from Thresh. That was a really nice setup with the
Yeah.
tracks.
You guys did well. Okay, so wait, go back. Go back, go back. Alright, so here you went in, that's great. Alright, here, again, you're tanky. You back off, and you guys are in voice chat. I can hear you guys talking, so there's no reason that one of you backs off and one of you goes in. Especially in this situation where you have almost no mana, and you have still good health, and you still have 2 health pots. Like, as soon as this fight started, you probably wanted to pop one of them, so it was rolling the whole fight, and it would allow you to stay in more. But you get caught out because there was no communication there. So you didn't need to blow that flash. Even if you survive, you got really lucky with that Jarvan gank. Oh.
Jinx didn't need to die there.
Yeah, that was you got greedy for a kill.
Greedy.
Yeah. It's better to back off and get the assist on it.
If you weren't farming with your Q so much, you could have thrown your ult there and gotten a kill. Because your ult's still up, and you just didn't have any mana for it.
And there's no reason for you to be here. You shoved it. You need to back.
And pause on that tab.
Yep. Grr. Alright, you know
It's
what?
fine. Just play it. Next time they tab, pause.
Alright, but yeah, you should have gone back, because now you have no health pots, you still haven't upgraded, you still don't have your sight stone. That's a good place to back. But you knew that they died. You should have just gone, and you know that he's up top. You should have just gone back in this bush here. You had enough health that even if you saw someone come through your wards, which you have plenty of, you could have gotten out before they collapsed on you. And you still didn't upgrade this. That should have been upgraded before you got boots. But the pink ward is good.
Is that his pink ward in that bush?
No. He didn't get a pink glass back. It's gotta be Jinx's. I'm glad. I'm glad you find it helpful. If you have questions, then ask us, because I can tell him whatever you guys are saying. Again, you guys are too far back. You need to be thinning out this wave so that you guys can engage, because right now if you engage, they have a lot more minions than you. And Leona, you need to be up here in order for him to be able to do that. You need to be giving a lot of presence in this lane, and you're just kind of hanging back. I'll show you a video later that's really funny, but you'll never forget the phrase presence in lane ever again. So you can't go in, like, always count minions. If you go into this, they'll actually probably do more damage to you than Graves will. And see, like, you're getting all this gold that you're getting is ineffective. So even though you have your 12, alright, you should have, yeah. Right now you should have ulted. They were both, let's go back. Okay, so he's trying to steal your pink, right? You get stunned. He's way up here. You should have just turned and immediately started auto-attacking this. Even if you didn't stun him and you're waiting for Graves to come in, either Graves is going to leave because you have your stun up, or he's going to come in and you're going to have the opportunity to do the damage, or to stun him and get him locked down. But right now what happens is that Jinx is trying to make it here, runs into a wall, and nobody's attacking him the whole time. So Jinx is now half health, and he shouldn't be. And right there, sorry, I'm going back again. Right here, you ult. And you get both of them in the ult, and you probably get him locked down. He's probably slowed because he's moving in that direction and isn't going to react fast enough. And at that point, then you have some options.
Also, when Thresh put up his cage, Leona should have popped W and tanked the first wall, because the only one that does damage is the first wall that gets popped. That way Jinx had more options to move back.
I'm trying to... Okay, so in this situation, you're gonna throw your ult on top of him. You have to keep in mind that he's a very mobile champion, and he didn't even have to use his dash. He just moved. You always want to predict where they're moving. He was moving in a pretty obvious way. So what you want to do is you want to lead him. So you should have thrown your ult about right here where he is now, and instead of being slowed, he would have been stunned. Again, yeah, it was just a little bit of greed. And
should have thrown her E early that fight too. So E does have a mini CC on it. Graves wouldn't have gotten his ability off, and Jinx would have lived and probably gotten the kill.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right,
I'm trying.
And now, right there, I bet you $1 million you die because you're tanking 6 minions. So you're probably not going to kill him, and even if you do, you're going to die to it. It's not really worth.
Oh, I thought I could.
Yeah, it was just the minions. You're just tanking too many minions at that point. And in this 15 seconds that you're not doing anything, you need to be checking top lane, you need to be checking mid, you need to be checking items. Even though you're tabbing, you're not tabbing enough. And I have a feeling you're probably checking CS or scores and not items. I don't think you have it going long enough for you to be checking items.
Right. Kills and CS don't mean anything if people are buying like stupid items or
Right.
not buying items at all.
This was a good roam. I think you could have flash Zenith stunned him, but that might be a comfort level thing.
Definitely could have saved. 'Cause that's-
That was a good stun though. But you need to back off. You can't kill him alone, and Jinx is too low. So if, yeah, you baited her to her death. Yeah. But again, it's a Leona getting the kill and a Graves getting the kill. It's not worth it. Plus, now he's pushing your wave to tower. So now Jinx is missing out on all of this CS as well. And there's a good like 10 minions here. And then if anything, yeah, you're tanking minions, and if anything, you should have just been farming the minions. You would have been more gold efficient than trying to kill Thresh. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You also might as well have popped W if you were gonna walk through the minions like that. Jarvan was already going to ult him, and so if he didn't flash that ult and you were going to go in, you probably would have gotten the kill if you were there, but he used flash. Regardless though, you should have pressed W, because that gives you a lot of armor, and it would have saved you a lot of hurt.
Here's the thing about roaming as a support, and it's a really high level thing to do, and to know when to properly do. Because I should roam a lot more than I do, and I have the same problem. I worry about being in lane when I need to be. You should have definitely ulted it earlier. Your ult has a much bigger range than I think you realize. You should have flashed. Yeah, you should have. If you see that coming at you, you flash it for the double proc. Or you could have flashed out of her chain and you would have lived too. So in a situation like that where you roamed and caught Garen, that's a pretty obvious one. That's really easy. The biggest times to roam are if your ADC goes back and you have nothing to buy and you have nothing to ward and you have nothing, like you have plenty of health and things like that. That's a great time to roam. Or if you guys push really far and you need to back off because you're against a blitzcrank or something, it's okay to roam and throw a ward here, a ward here, something like that. Those are the easiest times. Another time is if you go back to base, you can actually roam mid coming back from base, try to make something happen there, and then go bot from there. That's usually a pretty safe time.
When you do roam like that, make sure you're getting wards down while you do, so it's not... So like if you fail the gank,
you're still effective.
You're still doing something, like you're getting wards down. It's all about making efficient use of your time.
And never go put wards. I wasn't paying attention when you were warding. Never ward when Jinx is killing either melees or a cannon, because you will lose too much XP and you'll actually get really behind. Yeah, I think you made the right decision not ulting when he wasn't there. You can't get the kill, so. Auto attack. Especially if you. That was a good ult. And nice. Yeah, that was good overall.
That was a really nice stun. There's no reason to use Jinx ult melee range like that, though.
You do more
Honestly,
damage.
You do more DPS if you're just auto attacking.
And what is it? You do is it like 2 Qs and then you switch to your minigun or something to increase your attack speed? Oh no, it's like, yeah, it's something.
Yeah, you Q 3 times actually. Well, I'm sorry. When you're on minigun, you attack 3 times.
And then you switch to Q.
Because it gives you the big attack speed bonus, and then you're doing AoE damage.
Right. So that if you don't know what that combo is, you should keep that in mind and try to use that. Again, it's like an advanced skill, but it will incredibly increase your DPS. And there's no reason for you guys to be back there because you have no idea where their mid lane is, where their jungle is. So you should have walked around and thrown the ward in that way. Especially with Jinx. If Jinx gets caught out, she's dead because she's squishy. It's early. I'm not a huge fan of rushing this. It's not a terrible item, but it's just, in my opinion, not worth rushing.
Which item?
The Face of the Mountain. I think you could have upgraded your boots. You could have done a lot more. It's hard because I can't see the scoreboard to see who's fed on their team, but if you could have gone armor or something for the Graves or something of that nature.
You should have been working your way bottom way earlier there when Thresh was taking out your pink. You have to defend that. I would have ulted the people in the back there as Leona. Instead of just the Nunu, you could have got the 3 of them back there.
Yeah, I wanted to see what happened. I wanted to see the whole fight. So they're split here, and Jinx was way back here. You guys shouldn't even be baiting this dragon without Jinx there, because all you're doing, one, you're reminding them that it's up, so in case they had forgotten.
Okay, now there's 3 people right there. You should have used your Leona ult in the back there. On top of the Jarvan ult, that would have been a lot of damage. You probably would have, like, cleaned up the fight. Or won the fight clean. Jinx is switching targets too much there.
Right, if you would have just focused down Graves, you had him, like you saw, it only took you an extra 2 autos to kill him. You could have killed her as well and made it out alive.
And you would have had a huge move speed buff. So even if you decided not to kill Karma there and just to walk away, you would have been able to, because after you get the killer assist, you get a giant move speed buff, and you would have made it away. Also, killing one of them first reduces their DPS because one of them is dead.
Just something to remember, you should be calling out wards, you should be calling out flashes and exhausts and things like that. You should always have a timer on them. If you don't know what their cooldowns are, you can tab and you can actually hover over their summoner spell and it'll tell you if they have CDR and the exact cooldown of their particular spell. No, don't. Okay. There's no way for anyone to follow you up on that. You would have been better off saving that E and engaging on these 2, because they got pretty out of position there.
Oh, what the heck was Jarvan doing there?
I don't know. Again, she wasn't in position.
I don't know if that was a miscommunication on you guys.
I'm not sure.
You didn't use your exhaust either. Like, you had exhaust up for that.
Yeah.
You probably could have lived if you exhausted Graves.
And you panic with your ult a little bit. So in that, you actually ulted behind both of them. They had the advantage in terms of vision, and they caught you by surprise, and you were going down pretty fast. They're not going to back away from that. And I think it was just a panic thing.
Didn't know what about some of your spells?
That you can tab to find out the cooldown, I think. Alright. That was a good chomper. It definitely zoned him a lot. And a lot of the stuff we're telling you, even if I know you just said in the video you're not an AD carry main, like a lot of this stuff relates to jungling or positioning or other things like that.
You really should have flashed out of there and eat Nunu when he was closer. It would have made you cover a lot of distance and CC'd Nunu.
Yeah, she does a lot more damage than people realize. It's normal. It's just a champion people don't see a lot.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
The important thing if you ever do play against a Karma, it actually, even if you don't, she can aim it at minions and it will explode, and then if it's empowered, then it will sit there and explode again. So you want to be really careful. You actually don't want to be near minions when you're playing against a Karma because it is easier to dodge if you're not near minions.
Oh yeah, that's.
This is so risky. So risky. You know Karma's mid and you know nothing else. Do you die warding a lot? I only ask that because I die warding a lot, and I used to make really risky ward choices like that also. So if so, that's a really easy way for you to kind of just improve your overall performance.
You should have exhausted him before his ult popped. You would have reduced his damage by a lot, and Zed would have been able to fight now.
I would have saved your stun for Garen coming in. Karma was already pretty much dead. And you made it out of there, but they could have killed you. I don't know if Garen's ult is down or what, but you could have died. When you're against a split pusher like this, you want to ward like up here in this bush, or even here, because it'll give you vision when they're coming down the lane, so you guys can collapse on them before he's knocking at your tower.
Who's a split pusher?
Graves is split pushing bot for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. And you want to try to get rid of these stacks. That wasn't your fault. Jarvan got a little greedy with that ward.
Trad must be coming up, huh? Oh.
It's also very dangerous to be split over this wall. It's really easy for them to collapse on one or the other. You're not using this. I haven't seen you use it at all yet, so if you're not good with active items, then this is probably a bad one to get because it's a targeted active item, so I would start with something like, you could go Lockate, you could go Randuin's. Those are a little bit more responsive and will get you more used to using actives. It takes a long time. When I started playing support, I had stickies on my monitor that said use active items. Yeah, even though you don't die as much on Nami and Morg warding like that, if as you climb higher, which you have a lot of potential to do, people will catch you and they will kill you. So just be really careful that you're warding at the right times. It will significantly help. Yeah, I'm serious, guys. When I was first learning support, like back when I was Bronze 5, I had stickies. I still have my old monitor upstairs, and I still have sticky notes all over it that says, like, use active item, use DFG, ward, use pink ward, use trinket. Like,
The stickies made me such a better player.
did you use stickies too?
No, I
Oh.
just played the computer.
Oh.
No, I'm still terrible with active items, so.
It just takes a lot of practice, and put them always on one key. So if this is where your Randuin's is always going to be, make sure this is where your Randuin's always is.
Oh.
Yeah. You were all out of position. Like, it just wasn't a one person thing. You and Jarvan should not, Leona and Jarvan should not have been trying to collapse from behind. And you guys trying to collapse from behind kind of created a situation where Jinx felt like she had to be there to help you. So you guys all should have, like, taken roundabout ways. So in a situation like that where there's no way that anyone's going to die, don't use your ult. You should save it for a situation where you're either saving someone's life or you can get a kill out of it. Because it didn't save your tower and you didn't get a kill off of it.
And it didn't save you.
Right. So now even if you get back to lane, you're not gonna have it up even when you get back. So if, let's say that they overstay, and you guys could have killed, you're not gonna have it there.
I will tomorrow. I will take it off.
And as soon as this happens, just mute. This whole Y fight, just mute. I don't know if you get affected by, like, people getting upset like that. Like, some people don't get affected by it, but most people do.
Right when you spawned there, you needed to run out because Nasus was splitting top, and you needed to stop them from going back and dealing with him. Now he's gonna die. You guys really needed to all come out of the base really fast and stop them from going at him. Oh, I guess he lives because he's Susan, so.
Yeah. But he's right. A lot of times it's worth blowing stuff even if you can't get the kill just to alleviate pressure in a different lane. If you're split pushing, one of two things has to happen. Either you need to be putting pressure on them, keeping them from recalling, or you both need to be pressuring lanes at the same distance. So if he's up here, then you guys should all be up here, because it creates a situation where someone has to go. Now they can just all collapse on him and 5-man him because there's no pressure anywhere else over here.
Yeah, best case scenario right now, you guys are gonna fight a 3v5. Oh my god, he's so strong.
Yeah, it's just because he's Nasus. That's all it is. So don't take that as, like, that's how things should work. And you used your shield that time, that's good, and your Randuin's. So it looks like you're using them, you just need to be more consistent with them. That was good, Jinx. Getting those down and switching targets real quick was good. Use Leona as a shield. Like, she's got a huge ass shield. Use her for it. That's a bad place. Especially now that, they have those little gates in the wall. That's a really bad place to recall. Because if they decided to chase and came out here, they would have found you right away. In this situation, you guys now all need to 4-man mid. Or 5-man mid.
I would push up mid as far as you can. Wait for the minions to push him, and then you guys need to be getting ready for Baron. Like,
so if you guys all...
mid lane's really close to Baron, so
You can transition easy.
You can push the supers off, and then on top of that, you took the inhib after they took your mid inhib, so your mid inhib's going to spawn before their top inhib spawns.
The other thing is if they were smart and like as you get higher, they wouldn't come over here trying to contest this. They would have seen you going to Dragon and they would have taken Baron. And they would have been better off in the trade for it. But you guys did well getting everything, and that was a good that was a good fight for you guys.
Just when Thresh was in the Dragon Pit there, Leona should have just left. Like, Jinx he's not gonna kill Jinx 1v1, so you should have just left and gone and helped the rest of your team in the fight.
You need to be pinging for Baron. Like, you guys have an inhib down. You guys could have pushed up, or 4 of you could have gotten Baron, but you knocked out 4 of them. There was no reason that you guys, especially with the Jinx on your team, didn't take
Jinx,
Baron.
Nasus, Zed, Jarvan. Like, Jarvan gives attack speed to everybody. You guys have one of the fastest Baron comps in the game.
Right. And by putting that ward right there, you just lost vision on Baron. So you want to prioritize your vision.
Warding this side of the map right now. You're not going to do anything here.
And you have like 40% health. You need to go back.
The biggest objective right now is Baron. You shouldn't be warding this side of the map. I would ward their top jungle. Does Jinx have a scrying orb at this point? Can't tell. Try and pause on this next tab, please.
Oh, yeah. Did one just come up?
No.
Okay. I just tried to click on the mini map. Doesn't work in a replay. Yeah, so you have no vision over here at all.
Pause.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the vision.
Oh, there you go. You're in hip spawning.
Alright.
Okay, so now you guys should be looking for a Baron. Oh, right. At this point, Jinx really needs a scrying orb.
And
because what's going to happen in the game is you're going to put wards in their jungle. They're going to go clear them out, and then Jinx is going to scry orb for your engage. Also, if you ever get into a team fight where there's somewhere you don't have vision, and they're in a bush or something, you need to throw your scrying orb down so that you can have vision of that bush and your heroes can attack whoever's in it.
You should also have upgraded by now because you want to deny them vision. It's actually more important at this point to be denying them vision than to have even to get like your ruby sightstone, or your not your ruby sightstone, like a ruby crystal and finish this off. It's more important to go ahead and deny them all that vision. So what we were talking about earlier, where you guys got that kill before you guys went to drag, if you guys had been 5-manning this, it would have drawn all of them here, and this top would have pushed because you had super minions there. And then when one of them broke off to go defend this, then you could have done Baron. And then when you guys instead went here and for some reason they contested it, you should have done Baron. And now at this point, you need to do the same thing. Before this respawns, you need to pressure mid so they go respond to that and take Baron. And proper warding at this point in the game is to have a ward up here in this bush, to have a ward either here or here, and then always have one on Baron.
You should have had a pink ward, and you should have put the pink ward down at Baron. There's no reason to put, like, you guys are gonna be, you're in control of the game right now. You own Baron. Like, the other team can't take control of that part of the map. So
you got greedy with the crab. Just in case, you always want to have this stun up.
Mm-hmm.
You just lost Baron control.
You got chunked too hard.
Yeah.
It's okay. Their top lane's pushing.
So someone's
wanna
gonna have to
actually
respond
lose
to
it.
this.
Or if they do, they're gonna other team's gonna lose a freaking Nexus tower for it.
The best time to do a Baron is always when an
You
inhib's
can
down.
engage right now.
Garen's not there. But the reason it's best to do Baron when an inhib is down, because if they contest Baron, they lose Nexus turrets, and if they don't contest it, then you get a free Baron. There's no lose situation. That was good, you guys. You guys did well there.
I would have actually used my ult instead of E there to catch Karma. It has a much further range. You could have followed up with E. You guys have 2 inhibs done now. This game's pretty over.
Yeah. You guys both have a lot of potential. You guys landed some really good skills. When you're